see dudes saying they got their passport and they about to go overseas to find their wife, and you see they have the initials SYSBM in their bio, which is short for Save Yourself Black Man. Those dudes are tricks. These dudes have a firm understanding that they're so socially awkward and so socially inept that they need to pay to have access to coochie. Thing is, they're so broke that they can't afford the cost of women, sex workers here in the United States. So these dudes with warehouse jobs, these the type of Negroes that work on the line up there in Detroit in the car plants, they take their little 35, 40K overseas because it stretches longer.
Talking about how they are sick of women in America and how they're going to get their passports and go overseas and find them a wife. When the truth of the matter is, you don't want a wife. You want a slave. You want a maid. You want a personal assistant. These women are in dire financial need. And it sickens me that you get online and vocalize and brag about getting your passports and going to these countries with these to get a wife who needs a green card to escape extreme poverty. Whether you pay her family, whether you pay her, no matter what the circumstance is, she is in a dire situation. How dare you capitalize off of the fact that this woman just wants to live and thrive financially. And then you call it a marriage. That's not marriage. It's modern day slavery, and I think that it's sick. I think that it's disgusting, and all you're really doing is sifting yourself from the real divine masculines and alpha males. Because when they walk in the room, we know it. You know why? Because we feel safe. And we're not safe with you. And we know it, and that's why we're disrespectful to you. That's why we don't like you, and that's why we don't give a damn that you're going to another country to find a wife. And while you're there, get the help you need to heal your inner child, because we know that you're unhealed, that you are narcissistic, and that you're a toxic person. So while you're spending your money on your new bride, be sure to get the help that you need to. We ain't mad. We don't want you. We see you. You're not a divine masculine. We ain't mad.
And I would be fine.
What was the key? What did your mother know? What truth was coming through your mother that's going to come through you to your daughter?
My mother gave us aphorisms to learn as children. And there are two that stand out foremost in my mind. One is the inner reality creates the outer form. I learned this when I was in grade school. I was very young. And the other is the universe bears no ill to me. I bear no ill to it.
Alright. Just got the call, it's going down tonight. It's a lot of goodbyes here tonight. But then I saw the sky and that I like. Here from Cali, I live in the valley, they look sexy.
Yo! Another episode. Like and share the video. So what the hell? Oh well. A lot of us like to travel, even overseas. And there's this kind of delusion, I would say that women can do the same thing men do when it comes to anything, which I mean, anybody with a little bit of common sense know that ain't true. And traveling happened to be one of those areas where it's really dangerous for women to be traveling like that, especially overseas. You know, here in North America, we put women on a pedestal over here. So women have a certain level of protection. Just overall. You know, now we know it ain't the same. Yeah, we understand that. Some women have more protection than others. But just across the board, women in North America, they're protected much better than these other countries and nations that I've been to. Especially when you start going towards the Middle East, Asia, it's different over there. They treat women different. And in my opinion, they treat women worse. That's just my opinion. But you have to realize I'm looking at it from the Western view. You know what I'm saying? If you look at it from the Western view, women in places like Japan and China and Vietnam, almost every man would say those women are getting treated badly. But if I was raised over there, if I was raised in Japan, I might not say they're being treated badly. You know what I'm saying? So you have to keep that in mind before you judge. Who am I to say what's right or what's wrong? I'm from North America, not Japan. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the moral police. You know, you shouldn't be the moral police either, unless you want to run around trying to save the world. I don't, you know? But with all that being said, I've seen women traveling by themselves in places like Japan, Australia, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Mexico. I've seen women, I'm talking by themselves in Mexico, just them. They're out and about by themselves. That's very dangerous, you know? These guys in these other places see a woman like that as a soft target. Yeah. Especially if it's at night in some of these countries. They don't respect women and put women on a pedestal like that, like we do here in North America. And see, in these other countries, Kenya, Johannesburg, I've heard a lot of stories over the years where women have gotten attacked. The shit got broken in. Some got killed. And 9 times out of 10, they were by themselves. They were teaching in some other country, had some type of job in some of these other countries by themselves because they thought they would be okay to go to Kenya by themselves, to go to South Africa by themselves. And they'll buy a house, get an apartment, buy brand new furniture. They'll stay in some upscale neighborhood, or they'll stay in a neighborhood where they really shouldn't be there, but they'll stay there anyway. And they'll get robbed. You know, I've heard a lot of these stories over the past 20 years. And there's a good chance there wasn't no man around. Or if they did have a man around, it was some local dude that set up to get robbed and killed. This shit happens. But you're not going to hear about it because these governments, they cover it up. Because they don't want the word to get out that somebody got attacked, robbed, or killed. Now, every once in a while, you'll hear a story, it'll slip out, you know. But for the most part, these governments and these other countries try to cover it up because that's bad for business. See, that'll fuck their tourism money up. So, and see, you got to look at it like this. These cops, city cops, especially in these other cities and countries, they already know that some of these tourists are going to get robbed. And they know the people that's robbing them 9 times out of 10. They know the crew of people that's doing the robbing and stealing when it comes to tourists. They already know who it is. Don't think that the cops, they are oblivious and they dumb. They don't know what's going on. They already know these people. They probably friends with some of these goddamn criminals. You know? Because in these other countries, it's mafia run more than anything, you know. Now, of course, here in America, the mob is still strong, but it ain't the way it used to be here in North America. But in these other countries, oh shit, boy, the mob is strong. Woo, man, the mob is strong, boy. They run damn near everything in most of these damn countries. Woo. You know, I'm not going to get into why that is, but that's a video for another day. But they look for soft targets. You know, now you say, well, they look for soft targets in North America too. They do. They do look for soft targets in North America. It ain't safe for women to travel in America by themselves either. But especially overseas. Overseas is way worse. Because you got to think about it. You don't speak the language. 9 times out of 10, you don't speak their native language. They know you're a tourist. You know, you give off tourism by the way you dress, by the way you walking down the street. Some people look lost, like they don't know where they're going at. You give off tourists all day. You don't know where you going. You looking up in the air. You looking up in the building like that. Oh, you taking pictures with the camera like that. at the damn building. You give up you give it off. Tourism all day right there. You easy mark. You know, you easy mark. You start going down in alleys and streets where you shouldn't be, but you don't know because you don't got no street smarts. You know, and ain't nobody gonna tell you nothing. 9 times out of 10, nobody's gonna say, "Hey, you shouldn't be around here." Y'all from America, I bet. They're not gonna. I never had nobody tell me that when I was in a foreign country. Never. And I've been traveling since the 90s. I never had nobody warn me, "Hey, y'all shouldn't be around here." Never. That never happened. Now that's happened here in America, North America. That's happened, but in other countries, I've never had nobody warn me, "Hey, be careful." No. The only person that kind of told me anything like that, I had to know them, people that I knew. But I'm talking like me walking down the street, daytime, nighttime, in an area. I never had nobody say, "Hey, you're going the wrong way. You shouldn't be down here." Never. No. Yeah. Yeah, come on down. I never had nobody look out and say, "Hey, you shouldn't be around here after a certain time of night." Never. You know? So you got to be careful if you're a woman. Now, I know some of y'all women be on that independent shit, but I'm telling you that these other guys and gals will set your ass up in these other countries. And nobody's going to feel sorry for you. You know, nobody's going to feel sorry for you. Now, maybe you had a different experience than me. Maybe somebody did look out for you when you was over in these other countries. But it never happened to me. And I've seen other people get jammed up, you know, about to get jumped, you know, that's, I'll tell that story later. What's up, man?
Hey, Sharp, about your topic. You also got to understand too, when you go to either in America or overseas, you instinctively know where to fit in. You know deep down, if you go into an environment you shouldn't be at, you're gonna turn because it's not where you fit in. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of folks try to. There was a picture of like, I guess, an NBA player or something that went to like a Bravo down in Brazil. Didn't go in, but he took a photo of himself on like a patio chair in front of it, saying, "I can fit into any hood." But he didn't go in there. You see what I'm saying? He was just trying to show off that, "Oh yeah, I'm down with any hood in the world." But he knew walking in that place, you don't fit in, you don't speak the language, you don't know anybody. Anything can happen. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah, that's the main thing, especially if you don't speak the language.
And even if you speak the language, like there was a show, I forget the name, but it was about guys who who ran away from the cops. I think it's called Locked Up a Rock, something like that. But guys who went to Mexico, right? They're born and raised in America, spoke Spanish, but when they ran away from the cops to Mexico, they said on that show, "We spoke Spanish, but we didn't speak their Spanish." They knew the way we were dressed, the way we talked, we weren't from there, and we were targets. So
Yeah.
it's not just the language; it's the lingo. Is making that environment yours.
Yeah. And that's another thing. If they know maybe you have family that's from there, but
Yeah.
you ain't from there, so they're not gonna give you no pass.
Yeah.
Now, I know a Mexican guy that went to he went to Tijuana, he got killed.
And a lot of times they hate you because there's this view about, I like to say, reverse Wakanda. How America's think, especially when the Black Panther came out, black folks like, oh, we need a Wakanda, a place of utopia for black folks. A lot of people overseas see America as their Wakanda, their utopia. So when they see you in their country, it's like a little bit of envious, a little bit of strife, a little bit of like, man, if I was in America, I would never come here. So they automatically got anger towards you. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm trying to get out. They don't understand America is just another place on the planet. Yeah, there's opportunities, but it's not what's that fantasy in their minds.
Yeah. Yeah. When I first went to Dubai, I met a girl that was from Nigeria. And we hung out the whole day, basically. And then we hung out the next day. And I was like, hey, what's up with them dudes and what's up with the chick over there? Why they act like they got something against me? Whatever. I barely said anything to them. And she was like, oh, they just jealous because you from America and they always wanted to go to America and they ain't gonna ever be able to go to America. So that's where a lot of that comes from. So I didn't even know that. Yep.
Picture you getting one of their women. Automatically, they're just mad as hell because they're thinking he's gonna leave or he didn't have the game to get her. But because you're American, he's thinking you automatically get a pass because you're from America with an accent. She's giving it up. But it's more than just that with some women. You have to have game too. Yeah.
Well, I'm like, yo, at the time, I'm in the Navy, so it's not like I'm going to be here fucking forever or for a long time. I'm only here for a week. So I'm like, and they know this. So I'm like, yeah, what's the deal? I barely said anything to them. So you got to realize at the time, I'm 21 years old. I'm green. Yeah, I don't really know. I'm just really learning how this shit, what really goes on out here. You know what I'm saying?
And there is a reverse to that, where when I dated a Japanese girl years ago, she was telling me about how in Japan, a lot of Navy guys got a girl pregnant and left. So a lot of the folks, the locals, are mad at Americans because you come over here, get a girl pregnant, you have the opportunity to take her with you to give her a better life, or even stay here and raise your child. So they're mad at what happened to other people they saw. You know what I mean? They invited us to their country, let us in, being nice, slept with a woman, and you got her pregnant. For whatever reason, you left. So now there's an envy or anger towards Americans because they see it as, why didn't you at least try to care for your child or prevent the child from being born?
Yeah, I didn't know that either until I went to Japan and there was like, it was telling me about some shit that happened 10, 20, 30, 50 years ago, bro.
And I was somebody really got hurt. Somebody got brokenhearted. Yeah.
And I was like, at the time, I'm like, yo, I don't know nothing about that shit. I said, hey, I can understand, but that ain't got nothing to do with me. You can't, don't put that on me, man. You know what I'm saying?
Because the truth is, a lot of times, the women, they really like you, but they're so afraid that's going to happen to them it's like they're taking that anger out on you.
Yeah.
So let me protect myself by being so mean that I'll never be in that situation to give you the opportunity to get me pregnant.
Yeah. But that, man, that shit is that's kind of common overseas. When it comes to a lot of these military dudes,
Oh yeah.
some cold-blooded motherfuckers, boy.
Yep. And it's a reverse to that where the game is there's girls who I've talked to from overseas, and there's women that look for foreigners overseas in the military, gaijin hunters, as they say in Japan. There's women that want an American man specifically to marry him to get a stable life, but also a ticket out of there.
Yeah.
They have a better opportunity to be with you, but is it really love or is it just a ticket out of there? So you have to wait or two and find out who she is by her family.
Well, you'll be able to tell if you stay around long enough.
Yeah. That's true.
Them women tend to want to move fast.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And don't want to take the time, or if you try to stay where they're at, they kind of look at you sideways like, wait a minute, I thought you were going to go back home.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a lot of different dynamics that play out over there, man. I met this girl that was living with this guy for, man, probably 5 years before I got there. This dude got new orders at some point in time to be stationed somewhere else. He left, didn't tell her anything.
Yeah.
So you got now you got to think about this for a second. They live off the base and on an apartment.
Yep.
He left full apartment, full furniture, everything. All he took was a suitcase of clothes and he was gone. Didn't tell her nothing, bro. Cold. Some cold little bitch out here, boy.
You don't know what's happening behind closed doors. She could have been abusing him. She could have been taking his money. You know what I mean? You don't know the agreement. There's women that'll say, okay, you're only here for like a couple months. Okay, let me stay with you. And when you leave, just pay the apartment for a couple months so I'll at least have a place to stay. You see what I'm saying? What is the agreement? Because a lot of times, like I said, they target the men, but the men are targeting the women. Hey, I just want to have fun. I'm only here for 4 or 5 months. I'll pay this rent, but when I gotta go, I'm gone. I don't want any kids. So you don't know what's happening behind closed doors.
No. You know, and then you have some guys that's trying to do the same thing the women are trying to do. The guys are trying to find a girl he can lay up with for free because maybe he ain't getting paid that much money. And the girl is trying to do the same thing to him. So they're going back and forth trying to see who can get who first, who can get the best of each other.
That's like, I'll tell you, like over 10 years ago, I dated a black girl from the U.S. And we were dating, and she ended up going to stay with her cousin on a military base because she was just tired of being where I was or where she was at in life. Went there. She started running around chasing these guys in the army. Well, her cousin left Texas to go to like California. She didn't like it, went back to Texas, then called me and said, well, you know, I messed up. Found out she met some guy, moved in with him thinking he's going to marry her. He's engaged, to another woman in another base, and he was just at that base for 6 months. So after 6 months, he's going back home. She figured she was going to go with him, but he told her straight, I'm engaged. I was just having fun. You're the one that went too far with this. So she ended up calling me to get me to feel sorry for her. I don't want to hear it. Found out 6 months later, she married a guy retiring out the military, a different guy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's women that specifically look for these guys because they're looking for stability, structure themselves. And I hate to say this, they're looking for suckers too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I didn't know when I went in the Navy, man, I didn't know women could be cold-blooded like that.
See? See, and that's the thing about traveling. Traveling is one of the best teaching tools because it prepares you. Like I know people who told me I never did the military, but they said they noticed there are people they had to talk to about hygiene because they grew up on a farm or a small town and they didn't shower every day. They shower every other day. But in a military structure, like a city, you're on an aircraft carrier, you have to do hygiene every day for yourself or the other people because you're so enclosed. And they had to teach guys this and women at 18, 19, 20 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, I was on a carrier, so I know.
See?
You know. Yeah, man. It's it was a culture shock for me. Because you gotta understand where I came from, small town, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. You know, everybody knew each other. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I ain't really had to worry about nobody stabbing me in the back or nobody hurting me or taking advantage of me. Yep. And even if they did, I know where your people stay at. See? So you can't get away. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So coming from that, you know, everybody know each other's family for the most part. And I'm going into the belly of the beast where people are cold-blooded, people are getting killed, people are getting stabbed in the back, people are getting targeted, people are robbing and stealing, and people are swinging. You know, I'm like, oh my God.
But the one thing is though, you were in that, but you had a safety net where you had food, right? Guys told me they had always 2 or 3 meals a day. Yeah. They had an apartment or a base to sleep in.
Yeah.
They always could go for medical or get some kind of help psychologically. So even though you were in the belly of the beast, you were being prepared because you had the tools to go and get help to prepare you for that beast. You know what I'm saying? There's guys out here, let's be real, 18, 19, 20, whatever, you get kicked out the house, you're on your own.
Yeah.
They got mental problems and, you know, and women too. And that's why they're running from different guys having kids living off the government because they didn't get the tools or the right environment to give them the tools to prepare them for this beast out here that's eating everybody.
Yeah. You know, like it's crazy out here. That's when I realized, man, after about 2 years, I said, this world is really a battlefield.
Yep. and you were being physically prepared for it, mentally.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? I didn't get prepared till I was 34, but I was going through college thinking, oh yeah, this will help me. No, I was sadly mistaken. It's a place that educates you book wise, but street wise or in life, it doesn't educate you.
No.
It just gives you part of the game. You have a structure.
Yeah.
But that structure is really limited.
Yep.
And it'll fall on the weight of itself because it doesn't have the other foundation to help nurture it. That's why I said college really wasn't the best thing for me. I should have went in the military first, got out, then go to college. Then I would have had a better understanding. But it is what it is, you know.
Yeah. And let me tell you what's funny. When I got out the Navy, my dad told me, because I was telling my dad some of the stories, right? I didn't tell him everything. I just told him some. Because, you know, my dad, he used to be a street dude. He been out there. You know what I'm saying? He was out there before he got married, you know, to my mom, right? So some of the stuff I was saying, he could relate to it. So I was telling my dad, I said, yo, man, it's crazy out here, man. Mm-hmm. And he was like, he started laughing. Boy, you crazy. He said, man, I didn't know it was like that. He said, how come you didn't tell me? He said, hey, you didn't ask. And that's when he told me, he said, hey, man, when you're out here, man, you get what you catch. And whatever you get, you're going to have to fight to keep it.
Yes, sir.
You know?
It's unfortunately, a lot of us didn't get that. We had to lose so much. I had to lose so much to finally get to a point of saying, I'm tired of losing. I've been taking L's my whole life.
Yeah.
Finally went and got a mentor who helped me understand how to start doing things for myself. Put yourself first, but understand the structure of why you're putting yourself first. What are you getting from it? You're just not going out there taking stuff. You're building something, but what are you getting from it in the long run?
Yeah, I mean, you got to put yourself first. If you don't put yourself first, if you put everybody else first, and when it doesn't work out with them or it falls, well you shit up.
Or from what I had experienced, when it does work out for them, they're long gone. They take the spoils and don't even think about you.
Yeah, because a lot of times, a lot of us, you know, if you, a lot of us, we kind of forget about the other person or the other people because we get so caught up in our own ego. I'm like, hey, don't forget about them. And, oh, I'm sorry. Come on.
Because a lot of us get to listen. I'm gonna say this. I believe in spiritual world. Every culture believes in the devil.
Yeah,
it's like this whole world is controlled by a devil. And some folks get to a point where they really believe if I backstab somebody, hurt somebody, or just do something nasty, I'll achieve things, and you will. But even in the Bible, it showed how Jesus defeated the devil by giving up everything of the world. There are folks who want to jump in this world so bad, they'll hurt somebody else just to get a trinket or something that they are holding of value over themselves, fame, fortune, money, whatever, women. But at the end of the day, the truth of the matter, everything in this world is temporary.
yeah.
They don't see that. They see it just, I'm gonna be permanent and have everything I ever wanted and be grand. But when the devil comes to collect his due, you're out of there. I've seen it. I've seen guys who ran game on women, marry them who have businesses, take the money from the business, build a house, not even tell the wife, run those businesses down to go out of business. The women had to sell those shops. Eventually, one guy particular got cancer. That man was dead within 6 months. I said that was God or the devil really, because you took all that money. That man was living like a king. Women giving everybody warned her, stop giving the money from your business. But she lost everything.
That's bad karma, man.
Yep, it came. I'm telling you, it came back. And they said that guy got cancer within 6 months. He was gone. And after he died, she finally saw the bank notes and the bankers. Everybody called her. He was robbing her blind for years, but she was so in love she couldn't see it.
Yeah.
But it took that karma to finally snatch it away from her. Because if it didn't happen, she would have lost her house and been homeless.
Oh damn! Shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's when I realized years ago, you don't get away with anything in life.
No.
You don't get away with anything. This is why I've seen a lot of people, they sacrifice their friendship over getting ahead or getting some money, or maybe they had some type of partnership, right? And instead they took the money over the friendship. And I was like, yo, you should have took the friendship over the money. You made a mistake. They're like, why you say that? Because the money is like a ball, it goes up and down.
Yep.
And now you don't got the friendship is over. See, if you'd have maintained the friendship, you'd have had more money coming. Yep. But you made a mistake. And a lot of people do that. They're willing to sacrifice their friendships, even their families, to get ahead.
Yep.
And it's not gonna last long. That's what they don't realize.
No, I had to realize about like 38. It's really Game of Thrones out here.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to sit on this Iron Throne in their job, in a relationship, or whatever they feel in their life to have power over somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a lot of people talk, they talk that teamwork shit. I'm like, you ain't no team player. Just
Yeah.
shit out.
It's just a facade to reel folks in to make it seem like they're bigger than life, to try and, like a cult. Oh yeah, we're here, we're gonna praise God, but then hey, pay your dues.
Yeah. You can't spell team. Team. They talk. A lot of people talk a good game.
Yeah.
But if you watch their actions, it say otherwise.
Oh yeah. And if you see them for who they are,
yeah,
they're gonna do something to backstab you or to get rid of you. You ever watch the show House of the Dragons?
No.
House of the Dragons is like the prequel to Game of Thrones. It's how it first started.
Oh yeah. I saw it. Yeah.
There was a brother. Who got banished.
Yeah.
Notice how the right-hand man of the king was the one who snitched on him to get him banished.
Yeah.
Because he went and cleaned up that whole city. He was chopping off heads of murderers, chopping off the dicks of rapists, clearing up the city. They said, why'd you do that? We got the kings and queens of houses coming. We're trying to clear this city up. And he cleared it. That man was so scared that if he gets on that throne, he might take my head because I'm doing dirty stuff. So what did he do? Snitch on him and told this big story to get him banished.
Yeah.
And that's what folks do because he knew he could see me past who I present myself. The king can't.
Yeah. That man, I'm looking for the new episodes, man.
Hey, you gotta wait till 2024. They're filming them now. So
yeah, that shit was good, man.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot. You can learn a lot by watching that series, man.
Yes, you can. I'm telling you right now, from the first episode to the last, if I would have watched that series in my early 20s, I would have been bored. I would, this ain't real. This is not interesting. But because I went through the hell I went through, I hit rock bottom. I watched this series. I said, I went through that. I seen that. I know somebody who does that. This is life.
Yeah.
It represents life.
Yeah. I've seen people socialize like that in real life.
Yep.
Yeah. I've had people backstab me. I'm like, yo, I can't believe that we grew up together, bro. You did me like that?
I had a cousin I lived with when I was in New York. We shared there's a rooming house, there's 2 rooms. I'm paying rent. He's always like, oh, I'm kind of short. Okay, I paid his rent for 2 or 3 months. He never paid me back. But then stuff started missing from my room. He's out selling it. So I got out. This is the cousin I knew since I was like 13, 14. I was like 25 at the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, and not only you backstab me, well, you not only did you take advantage of me, you talking shit behind my back.
Yes, because that's just like the Hightower from the House of Dragons. You have to add on to the story to make folks see you worse than you are.
I'm like, damn. We were kids. Yeah. I known him since he was what 6 years old. Now I find out because look, I looked at it like we grew up together. We're like 4 hours away from home. He'd been up here longer than me. I just got here, I don't know, a year and a half ago. And he had some hard times and he called me and told me what was up. So I'm like, all right, man, I'll look out or whatever because I can do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you're going to take advantage. If I give you something, I expect to receive it the way I gave it to you. Yeah. And if that ain't the case, don't lie. Don't lie and say, oh, this happened, that happened. But I know you're bullshitting.
See, I had to learn. I went through that.
So now I can't fuck with you like that no more. You know? And then he knows that I know he lied because he started kissing my ass. Oh, I love you, man. Blah blah blah. This and that. I'm like, and he don't even talk like that. So now I can't. I gotta fall back from you now, if that's how it is. And I didn't get an apology or nothing. I'm like, okay, I guess that's what it's come to. You know, it's a hard pill to swallow, but hey, man. Oops. Oh,
That
yeah.
in their minds, they don't believe they did anything wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. So that means that's even more reason why I gotta fall back from you. Shit. You know, I'm like, come on, man. You know.
That's why I haven't talked to I have family, different states, different countries. I haven't seen them in years because I'll tell you this. I went to England in 2012. One of my cousins died. We grew up all the time as kids, teenagers, when I would go to England to hang out with them. But I haven't been to England in 12 years prior, right? In 2000, I last went. So I went back in 2012 when my cousin died. I had cousins I called, family. Hey, I'm in the country. I haven't seen you guys in years. You believe 3 family members showed up at my cousin's funeral?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, man.
There were guys who I hung up with when my cousin was in high school who showed up at his funeral, and other family members wouldn't.
Well, I'm too busy. I can't, whatever.
Didn't care. They had their own lives. That started to wake me up realizing how this world is. Because I started seeing people for who they are, not for what I wanted them to be.
Yeah. And that, I realized that, well, I ain't had nobody to tell me this when I was younger. Mm-hmm. See, as I got older, I realized that as most people get older, you really see that, hey, man, you really ain't shit. Because the older they get, the worse they get, for the most part. Because most people, they're not really growing or trying to get better or developing themselves. No, most people, they are who they were like 15, 20 years ago, but they just gotten worse.
Because the truth of the matter is, I had to say this. Folks like you're talking about were always like that. I was the one putting them on a pedestal of making them seem like they were better than they were because I expected them to be better.
Exactly. Because I gave them benefit of the doubt, which was a mistake.
And there it is. You didn't know. You expected somebody you least respected, or somebody of authority, or somebody would at least say, "Okay, I'll give you respect. You give me respect." But when you look at them for who they are, a lot of times they got their position out of ass kissing or a woman sleeping with the right person.
Yeah, and then I realized once I look back on some things that they might have done or whatever, I'm like, yo, that was some funny style shit, man. What's up? You look back on some things, I kind of shake my head like, man, I don't know what was up with that, man. But I just move on, man. You know what I'm saying? I already know what it is. So, hey, I just learn from it and move on and try not to make the same mistake again.
Yeah. And it's a shame, too, because they even got people I talked about, like in high school, they were teachers and counselors who were just like that. They were dirty. They were just... They were not there to prepare us for the real world. They were there for one thing, a paycheck for themselves. And
Well,
what one years later they actually apologized because they were like, yeah, I should have helped out more of the black kids. I was like, yeah, I was thinking, why you a black woman, and it's like you hand over fist would help the white kids, but when it came to the black kids, you just shut us off. You know what I mean?
yeah, I talked to my school counselor, high school counselor, 6 months ago. She retired like 10 years ago. And
Okay.
yeah, she would kind of say she got regrets and all this shit or whatever. I'm like, yeah, of course you got regrets. You didn't do shit.
Yep.
I had regrets too. If I
The
were
one
you.
lady I know thought her son was so much better than us. He's gonna be everything. We ain't gonna be nothing. Her son ended up getting like 20 years in jail, robbing a store. Should he got 20? No, I thought he should have got 8, like most the white guys. But
Oops. I think I lost my
nope,
man.
I'm here, Sharp. Sorry.
Okay.
That's just like a woman who I know whose son ended up getting 20 years in jail robbing somebody. She was a counselor, and she knew when the white kids came in, she helped them. But the
Yep.
black kids, oh, just get out of here, get out. Oh, you ain't gonna be anything. I know your parents. And I was like, yeah, you see?
Yeah, I'm telling you, my counselor she was so cutthroat. Let me tell you, she when it comes to the black kids, she used to send them into the in school suspension. That's what she used to send us, bro. That's how cold she was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's when I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Hey man, we ain't supposed to be in here.
Yep. Yep.
And that's when by the time I got out of school, I'm like, this shit is just a money making machine. That's all this shit is about. This shit, because when I went to college, I'm like, I didn't learn shit in high school.
Yep.
This is just a cash money making machine. That's what the whole school system is all about. You know,
To push the kids through so they'll get government grants and funds for the number of graduates. But here's the problem. They're counting the graduates who graduate with a D the same as the graduates who graduated with all A's or at a private tutor that the parents paid for.
Yeah, man. I'm like, this is just, if a lot of women didn't have mortgages, they'd shut that school system down a long time ago.
That's all it comes down, because that's why I'm gonna be real. They choose females, especially black females, over educated black males because the kids would then have somebody to give them structure.
Yep. Exactly. I was like, man. So that's why it's like today, schools are worse today. Now today it's like a daycare center.
Yes,
it
actually is.
Yeah, you have women that I've heard women say, I can't wait till these kids go back to school. Oh my God. I'm like, what? I was on LinkedIn a couple of days ago, and it was this woman that I follow. She actually put up a post, and it said, oh, I can't wait until I go back to the office because I'm tired of these kids. I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. So the parents don't care about the kids today, and school is like a daycare center.
Yeah.
Oh man. So you wonder how the kids turn out the way they do.
Well, that's the problem. Most of the time they want them to turn out that way because number one, prisons will keep being built. They're getting money off these kids going to jail, but then they get money off the taxpayers because they keep getting the girls pregnant and not teach them about birth control. So they're just having kids living off the system.
Yep. And the state trying to find another man or somebody to pick up the tab.
Yep.
Because they don't want to pay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the whole thing is is a cash money making system.
Mhm. It's a brat race. It's just a scheme to get you to give up. You are basically just cattle.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. But the thing is, you have to be aware of it. You have to know.
Yeah.
So you don't get caught up in this bullshit.
Yeah. There it is. You just called it. You have to have the foresight. But sometimes the only way to get it is to fall down. It get stabbed by somebody to say, wait a minute, what did I put myself through?
Yeah. That's why you have to watch the company you keep. And it takes time to get to know people. You have to put these women through the goddamn ringer.
Oh yeah. That's a big thing. You're right. Don't just date a woman because she had a fat ass or nice titties. Because the truth, she might be crazy. She might have like a mental illness. I had to start looking at my own stuff. Yeah, I'm attracted to her, but look how she's behaving. Look how she carries herself around public when folks are arguing. Like going to the supermarket, she's arguing about 10 cents on the dollar for the like chips or something like that. It's like, that's not the type of woman I need to be with.
No, me either. And you want to see how they act when they're stressed.
Yes. Yeah.
You want to see if they drink wine or whatever. You want to see how they act when they're drinking. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay attention to all that shit, man.
Yeah, because it is. I hate to say this, like a generational curse thing.
Yeah,
it follows the person.
Yeah, and pay attention to who is. She's the type that influence people around her, or she's the type to get. Is she the type to get easily influenced?
Yeah. You're right.
Because if she get easily influenced by her so-called girlfriends, which don't really exist, well, that's going to be a problem with y'all.
Yeah. But my experience, there are guys who look for women like that, easily influenced to try and manipulate them. You know what I mean? There's guys who like women like that. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really like that. You know what I'm saying? But you just gotta pay attention to stuff like that, man. Yeah. And it just takes time to get to know people, man. It ain't no damn meet a woman for 2 weeks and you get married the next month. Oh, you crazy? So you Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey.
Yeah, because there's women there was another TV show where they're talking about like guys in the military, women here in America married them within a couple months, and then they all went to hell. You know what I mean?
That happens all the time.
Yep.
In the military, man, it's crazy. I remember when we first went to Australia, we went to Sydney for like 2 weeks. And then we pulled back in Japan. Bro, them dudes were flying them girls to Japan and getting married. And 6 months later, she was coming back over. She had all her papers and they were married and everything. I said, oh, God damn. It's crazy, man. I'm like, and this one guy named John. John was cool. John got married to this Brazilian girl that was living in Australia at the time. And she had a sister. And John always wanted me to talk to her sister. And something about her sister just wasn't right. I didn't know what it was. But every time I would, just talk to her, just, friendly conversation, I just got a gut feeling like, yeah, I really ain't feeling her like that.
Yeah.
I really ain't feeling her like actually her sister, which was John's wife, I felt like she was more genuine than her sister. you know, which was weird. But I'm saying like the vibe just wasn't there, man. So I kind of fell back, and this white guy that we all knew, he started talking to her. I was like, oh, thank God, somebody got to take her. And then he ended up getting her pregnant, and I think they ended up getting married. And I was like, ooh, thank God. Whew. You know.
So were they looking for you to be with her? You know what I mean? Like, were they looking for like?
Yeah. She was looking for me. She was looking for me to make a move, make a power move on her. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Is it because you were in the Navy, or is it because they really liked you, or you know what I mean? Like, was it like a setup?
It was because John kept whispering in their ear about me. So that's how it got started, because John meets her sister, and she wants a man too. She wants to get married and start a family too. So I'm with John all the time. So John like, yo, I got a friend, whatever, that's my boy right there. You know? Yeah. So he introduced us one time, and it's like, okay, nice meeting you. And I keep it moving, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that kind of took off guard. She's like, hey, why you left? And John was like, I don't know. I'm like, well, I didn't know I was supposed to stay and shit.
Sound like they were looking for like a shotgun wedding.
Yeah, and check this out. Once she got married and had a kid with the dude, I think it was like Christmas, and I went to John's house, and everybody was there. You know, he had his wife, the kids, and all the kids and everything, right? So we were so John invited me over. It was cool. I appreciated it and everything, right? So somehow, I don't even remember how the conversation came about, but I was like, hey, how come you never hit it off? Why do you think it never happened? And she was like, well, you never said anything. And I was like, well, yeah, I didn't make a move. She's like, you never really made no move. How was I supposed to know?
Yeah.
I was cool with it, but I knew why, because I just wasn't feeling it. You know what I'm saying?
You did the right thing. You went with your instincts. You know, you weren't like, well, I'll do this to make her happy, or what would have been, whatever. You had your own vision of life, and you were going toward what you wanted.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And every time I went against my instincts, I got burned every time. Every time. You know? So I was like, I don't give a damn how good she look. You know, but she from Brazil. They look good or whatever, but I don't give a damn. Hell, because there's a big population of Brazilians in Australia and Japan.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Just like there's a lot of Japanese in Brazil.
Yep. Yeah. So they, I was curious, but I'm like, I ain't that goddamn curious. And that was the last time I seen them, that day. And this was 1999. That was the last time I seen all of them, John and her and everybody. I did John and I know John. He's from Vegas, so I might see them when I go to Vegas one day.
Right, there you go. I mean, it all works out. It worked out for them.
Yeah,
it's working out for you not being with her.
Yep.
I had to learn that sometime when she says no or the situation didn't go, the universe has bigger plans for you.
Yeah, man, she's doing you a favor. You just don't realize it yet.
Yes, sir.
But all right, man. Thanks for coming on, bro. I'm about to jump off here.
You have a nice night, Sharp. Thank you.
All right, peace. There you have it. Another conversation, another episode. You know what I'm saying? Like, share this episode. And P.S. and by the way, check out the Love Can't Wait podcast. Love Can't Wait podcast. I uploaded a new episode an hour and a half ago. You know, it was a good one. You know what I'm saying? And anything you want me to talk about, go to my website at chooseyourrelationships.com. You know, and until next time, I'm out.
Alright. Just got the call, it's going down tonight. It's a lot of goodbyes here tonight. But then I saw the sky and that I like. Here from Cali, I live in the valley.